we're back to action here at the pit. The heavyweights, the big boys, look out, tighten up those ropes. We got big Kirk Johnson out of Nova Scotia, Canada. This man is undefeated and he is devastating. You've got to see him to believe him. Right now you're looking at in the black trunks, Sir Javelot, Keith McMurray out of Sacramento, California. And our national treasure, Michael Buffer, is going to introduce these two, and let's go up to him. Okay, Michael Buffer is still waiting for Kirk Johnson to enter the ring. There you see him. This man, folks, you've got to keep an eye on him. I've seen him in action on ESPN several times, and I like what I've seen. This man is very strong, representing Canada in the Olympics, and he's undefeated. And he'll be taking on the very crafty Keith Sir Javelot McMurray. The referee there, you'll see, yes, that is him, the legendary Bob Foster. Probably the man considered the greatest heavyweight of all time. Here's Michael Buffer.
They start with the 6th round. Well, this is in the heavyweight division. But that'll make the man in charge of the action. Former light heavyweight champion of the world and Hall of Famer, Bob Foster. Weighing in 195 pounds. He comes to us with a record of 14-21-1, 7 KOs to his credit. From Sacramento, California, ladies and gentlemen, Sir Javelot, Keith McMurray. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the white trunks with black trim, weighing 223.5 pounds. From Nova Scotia, Canada, this member of the 1992 Canadian Olympic team is now undefeated with a record of 9-0, 7 KO. He is Kirk Johnson.
Nova Scotia, Canada's Kirk Johnson in the white. And Kirk Johnson is the man to keep your eye on. He is the prospect. He is 9-0 with 7 knockouts. And with the state of the heavyweight division right now, the way it is right now, Kirk Johnson could very soon be a top 10 contender. Keith McMurray in the black trunks. An interesting story. He's a hero. He saved some people from a burning home. Keith McMurray risked his life and saved a family from a burning home. That story was carried across the national news wires, and he really did a fine thing in there. And he's a veteran. He's been in with a lot of good name fighters, and he's very tricky. But he's kind of small for a heavyweight, actually more of a cruiserweight. But he will step into the ring here and take his chances against the very highly touted Kirk Johnson in the white trunks. We're just underway, round 1. This bout scheduled for 6. A big left hand on the break, and Bobby Foster's going to tell Kirk Johnson. Bobby Foster tells him, Kirk Johnson a little wound up here. He wants to be impressive. A good crowd here at the pit in Albuquerque, New Mexico. About, I would estimate, between 11 and 12,000 people in the building. Of course, the main event here being carried nationally, the 2 main events, Danny Romero and Johnny Tapia on ESPN. And this fight not making the broadcast, but thank you to Top Rank Incorporated for allowing me to bring the action to you here on the 8-count boxing hour here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Community Cable Channel 27. Kirk Johnson is a powerhouse, the man in the white. And you see him now trying to come with that jab right hand, and it's very powerful. Keith McMurray's going to have to watch himself. Keith McMurray's nickname, Sir Javelot. And that's his only hope. He's got to stick and move and stay out of trouble against the very powerful Kirk Johnson. Again, you see Johnson with that double jab followed with the right hand. Tremendous thundering power on the part of Kirk Johnson. Keith McMurray has had a little taste of that power. He doesn't want to get hit flush. And there you see McMurray with a little right hand and Johnson with a counter left. Kirk Johnson just trying to look for the opening now. Keith McMurray's going to have to use side-to-side movement. He can't get trapped on the ropes and he can't move straight back. You can see Kirk Johnson is just wound up as tight as a clock, man. He wants to let that right hand fly. Ten seconds to go now in the opening round. Oh, and McMurray sneaks a little right hand in there. And that ends the first round, a good round. Kirk Johnson and Keith McMurray. We're looking at Keith McMurray right here, Sir Jab-A-Lot out of Sacramento, California. He did pretty well in that opening round. He stayed out of trouble. Keith McMurray, another fighter with a sub-500 record, but a lot of really big names on his record. His corner telling him to keep the jab moving. They want the jab. Full house here at the pit. Not a sellout because this place holds 18,000 for basketball, but I'm telling you there's between 11 and 12,000 in the building. And they're getting a peek at a man who is expected to go pretty far in the heavyweight division. That's the man in white, Kirk Johnson. But Keith McMurray looking to spoil that plan. And now Johnson on the attack. It's a slip. Let's see. No, Bob Foster is counting that one. That is a knockdown. McMurray's arguing about it, but Kirk Johnson was just overwhelming him, and that is a knockdown. So Keith McMurray down here in the second round. There's no question as to who has the edge in power. It's big Kirk Johnson in the white trunks. And he is a serious man when it comes to boxing. He is all business in the ring. Oh, and he just missed with a big right hand that had "good night" written all over it. Keith McMurray very, very wary as he throws that jab and gets his head out of there quick. He doesn't want to get caught with one of those thunder counters from big Kirk Johnson. Keith McMurray's slapping with that right, comes back with 2, 3, 4 left hands, just trying to connect with Johnson. And coming up, we'll be bringing you our main event tonight. Oklahoma City's David Robinson taking on Rio Rancho, New Mexico's Irish Sean McLean. And Kirk Johnson with a left right now, and McMurray just ties him up. Oh, wicked body shots now being sunk by Kirk Johnson. Kirk Johnson, a representative of the 1992 Olympic team for the Canadian Olympic team. Oh man, Kirk Johnson just loading up with that right. You could see he just loaded up and let it fly. And McMurray ties him up and pushes him back. Keith McMurray. Oh, and he brings the right hand, kind of catches Kirk Johnson. Keith McMurray's last fight against Mike the Bounty Hunter, losing a split decision to the former USBA heavyweight champ. So McMurray with some good credentials here as a good test for Kirk Johnson. Oh, a little uppercut, and that, oh man, Kirk Johnson digs with a right hand to the body. But McMurray was already kind of slipping down, and they rule that as a slip. That is not a knockdown. Bob Foster, the third man in the ring, and that ends the round. Uh-oh, the two are getting, here we go. Here we go, and Bob Foster won't have none of it. He separates the two men. So the two men go face to face at the end of the second round. A good round for Kirk Johnson, the undefeated prospect out of Nova Scotia, Canada. And there you're looking at him. Powerfully built man. Look at the size of that man. And he's got some good boxing technique behind him and good power. There you're looking at the very lean with that long jab, Sir Jab-a-lot, Keith McMurray. So the first round was pretty close. The second round, Kirk Johnson's power starting to take over. And you can see a packed house here at University Arena, La Casa de los Lobos. Round 3 underway now. Heavyweights were scheduled for 6. Oh man, Kirk Johnson comes out bombing. Kirk Johnson slips in a good quick left hand. McMurray ties him up. And Johnson tries to throw that right off of the break. Kirk Johnson. Oh man, a big left hand from Kirk Johnson, and McMurray got caught flush. Bob Foster now giving him the count. I don't know if he's going to make it up. That's it. He did not make the count. No, it's a knockout. And he's on rubbery legs. Kirk Johnson with a devastating shot just takes Sir Jab-a-lot right out. So that ends that. Keith McMurray sticking and moving, trying to survive, but boy, Kirk Johnson just bringing some overwhelming force. And he puts McMurray away here in the third round. So you get a good look at Kirk Johnson. Moves his record now to 10-0 with 8 wins by knockout. And I'm sure you'll be hearing more about him in the future.
10, the official time, 46 seconds. Round number 3, the winner by knockout victory. His record now, 10-0, 8 KO, Kirk Johnson.
10-0 with 8 KOs, and there you see him shaking hands with Bob Arum. Bob likes what he sees. Congratulations to Kirk Johnson here on the 8 Count Boxing Hour.
I'm Alex Garcia, and you're watching the 8 Count Boxing Hour.